he has an all-time great chin going in the ring with tremendous punchers. Terence Crawford coming up 2 weight classes, do any damage? Yeah, he's a slick boxer, and he's also a good puncher in the welterweight division, in the junior welterweight division, in the lightweight division.
But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
Of the opponent. But anybody that's watched Terence Crawford's career knows full well how much talent this young man has. I mean, he is absolutely sensational, both as an orthodox and as a southpaw fighter. You can't really tell which is his favoured side.
ESPN's Dan Raphael and Stephen A. Smith break down why Terence Crawford has all the ingredients to overwhelm and dismantle Canelo Alvarez. While Canelo once prided himself on an iron chin, recent fights have revealed cracks in his defense as he absorbs more clean shots than before. Crawford, on the other hand, possesses a lethal mix of slick movement, razor-sharp timing, and underrated knockout power. This combination makes him not just a threat, but potentially the worst kind of opponent for Canelo, a fighter who can outthink, outpunch, and ultimately outclass him over the course of 12 rounds.
I think Terence Crawford is a marvelous boxer, arguably the best in the world, pound for pound. But can you hurt Canelo? If you can't hurt him, I have no doubt he could outbox him. My issue is, if you can't hurt him, what kind of a challenge could you truly pose? What do you say to that?
No, that's a great point. I mean, here's the thing. Canelo Alvarez has a historically great chin. Now, I go back way back when he first came to the United States and started boxing, and he found himself on an HBO pay-per-view undercard years and years ago, fighting against the older brother of the great Miguel Cotto. His name was Jose Miguel Cotto, and he had gotten a ton of hype. He had signed with Golden Boy Promotions, and a lot of those of us in the media. And I had seen him a couple of times before that. This is my first time seeing him in person, really paying close attention. And he almost got knocked out in the first round. And I remember, Stephen A., all of us looking around at Media Row going, what the heck is this all hyped about? This man can't take a shot. He's going to get drilled. He was lucky that the fight was over, that the round was over in round 1, or there might have been some much more trouble. Stephen A., that was 16, 17 years ago. I've never seen him wobbled, rocked, physically, visibly hurt since then. He has an all-time great chin going in the ring with tremendous punchers. Terence Crawford coming up 2 weight classes, do any damage? Yeah, he's a slick boxer, and he's also a good puncher in the welterweight division, in the junior welterweight division, in the lightweight division. But even at junior middleweight, which is where Terence Crawford had his most recent fight back in August, when he moved up and he won a world title, he didn't blow the doors off. He fought a very tough, solid opponent named Israel Madrimov. He gave him a good fight. It was very close. Madrimov's people seem to think he might have even been able to edge it out. But if you can't hurt an Israel Madrimov at 154, what the heck are you going to do with Canelo Alvarez, the sturdiest guy in the world, at 168? So that aspect of it is certainly a problem. You mentioned about Charlo. Charlo was there to get his check. I know one thing about Terence Crawford. He's not going to just come to turn up to get the check. He'll at least try. And Charlo, I don't think, really tried.
Stephen A. Smith doesn't mince words when giving his outlook on the looming Canelo versus Crawford clash. He is fully convinced that Crawford will come out victorious, highlighting not only Crawford's technical arsenal, but also his burning hunger to prove himself against boxing's biggest name. Smith points out that Crawford's unshakable mindset and laser focus on legacy elevate him above the rest. For Smith, it isn't just skillets, Crawford's relentless drive and championship mentality that make him such a dangerous opponent. His analysis underlines the fact that when desire and talent meet at the highest level, the results can be explosive.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love
Who
boxing.
gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's going to go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
always prepared.
He's always ready.
gotta
He's
give him that.
always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But I don't think he's going to knock him.
Teddy Atlas lends even more credibility to Crawford's corner by hammering home the concept of skill over size. He insists that dimensions like weight or reach mean little against a fighter with superior mastery of the craft. Atlas emphasizes Crawford's ability to dissect opponents with surgical precision, smart timing, and unmatched adaptability. Against a strong, powerful brawler like Canelo, those technical advantages could prove decisive. In his view, Canelo's bulk and raw strength lose their edge against a technician who can exploit flaws, neutralize pressure, and dismantle aggression with a smarter, sharper approach.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
L. Bernstein brings Crawford's unpredictability into sharp focus, calling it one of his deadliest assets. Unlike fighters who stick to one blueprint, Crawford shifts gears mid-fight, keeping opponents guessing and uncomfortable. Against a counterpunching specialist like Canelo, this becomes a nightmare scenario. Bernstein stresses that ability to seamlessly switch from orthodox to southpaw multiplies his offensive options, making him harder to read. This unpredictability not only throws off Canelo's timing, but leaves him vulnerable to counters. He doesn't see coming something that could tilt the entire fight in Crawford's favor.
Most fans or most people would probably say Crawford, I'm guessing, because that's a big part of how he's won, and everybody feels that and rightfully so, the way he's figured out. I mean, he's constantly changing from lefty to righty. He's a person that alters his attack. Sometimes he's a boxer. Sometimes he's walking people down. Canelo's style is more the same in most fights. He is a counterpuncher who's waiting for you to make your move so he can counterpunch you. And when he has you in trouble, he's willing to move forward. His attack is a pretty straightforward one. On the face of it, you might say Crawford. But I think the thing about Canelo Alvarez is that he has seen every style that you can see.
Gareth A. Davies highlights Crawford's biggest weapon experience. With over 15 years at the elite level, Crawford has sharpened his instincts, refined his ring IQ, and learned to remain ice-cold under fire. Davies points out that Crawford has consistently dominated elite competition across divisions, proving his adaptability against every style imaginable: heavy hitters, slick boxers, and durable veterans. That adaptability, combined with patience and technical brilliance, makes Crawford one of the sport's most complete champions. Davies argues that this wealth of experience gives Crawford a rare advantage against Canelo, making him uniquely prepared for the biggest test of his career.
The levels that he's gone through, the weights that he's gone through, and the opponents that he has been in with, he's come up short against a couple, but he's come through some big challenges as well through his, 65, 66 professional bouts since he was 15 years of age. There's no doubt that this is the biggest test of Terence Crawford's career, not only because of the weight step up, but also because of the level of the opponent. But anybody that's watched Terence Crawford's career knows full well how much talent this young man has. I mean, he is absolutely sensational, both as an orthodox and as a southpaw fighter. You can't really tell which is his favoured side. He's that good, the angles that he creates. And the way that he not only dissects people, but the way that he puts his foot down when he gets somebody hurt is
he's spiteful.
He's truly, truly impressive.
But what he also does, and this is where I think people are making the mistake with the fight with Israel Madrimov last summer in Los Angeles, was that Terence doesn't mind doing enough to win. He doesn't, if he knows he's got to win on points, he's happy to tuck everything neatly in the office and win round by round. It reminds me of Floyd Mayweather. It reminds me of Pernell Whitaker. It reminds me of guys that win with ease without overstretching themselves, that don't have to get in a battle. But when he's got someone hurt, as you rightly say, he's spiteful. I'm not sure he'll get Canelo hurt in this fight. But if his timing and his movement are on, the slightly slowed Canelo, who likes to load up these days, could find himself frustrated by Terence Crawford.
Yeah. And there's also the aspect of when he is behind. I mean, we've all seen that famous clip where he's fighting Sean Porter. Somebody sells him ringside. They've got him down on the cards. He goes through the gears and stops Sean Porter in the very next round. There's also that element to him. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant, but he's also fighting someone that's equally as brilliant. A very different type of style, Canelo.
And a fan favorite.
Confidence is another recurring theme when assessing Crawford's edge. Analysts note that his sparring performances and gym stories often speak louder than his actual fights. He consistently impresses trainers and sparring partners, displaying the same dominance behind closed doors as he does under the bright lights. This track record builds unshakable self-belief, strengthening his mental toughness. For Crawford, confidence isn't arrogance, it's the product of years of preparation and proven brilliance. Stepping into the ring with that mindset allows him to believe, without doubt, that he can outthink and outperform anyone, even a superstar like Canelo.
And is so confident. He's so confident that he's about to become undisputed. Listen, 2 weeks to go, less than 2 weeks to go now. What? We're talking about 12 days. 12 days. What can we expect from this unbelievable showdown? Listen, the build-up has been absolutely incredible. When you talk about the sparring stories, when you talk about the unbelievable rumors that we've been hearing for the past 10 to 12 weeks, will but Crawford's power carry? Will Canelo age overnight? So many questions that we have when it comes to this unbelievable fight. But not too long to go, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to find out the truth. We are about to find out who's truly the greatest of this era. And let me tell you this. I said this in most of my videos so far. The more I watch Bud Crawford and the more I watch Canelo Alvarez tape, the more my appreciation for both men increases. Listen, Canelo is the greatest pressure/counter puncher in history when he puts both together. And Crawford is the most dynamic fighters my eyes ever saw. Ever saw. Now, listen to this. The moment this fight got announced, we didn't know the things that we know now. We didn't know about their sparring partners. We didn't know about the shape that they were gonna come in for this fight.
Comedian and avid boxing enthusiast Ari Spears takes a historical angle when evaluating Crawford vs. Canelo. He recalls decades of legendary Mexico versus USA rivalries, where American fighters known for speed, defense, and slick counters often got the better of bigger, stronger Mexican warriors. Spears acknowledges Canelo's greatness but frames the fight as a continuation of that tradition of stylistic clashes. He argues that Crawford's rhythm control, sharp counters, and defensive sharpness mirror the traits that have historically troubled Mexican champions, making this fight not just modern but part of a larger boxing legacy.
Take a top-notch Hispanic fighter, put him against the top-notch black fighter, the black dude usually edges him out. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Latino fighters, because look at the greats. De La Hoya, motherfucking
Roberto
Duran, Arguello, Felix Trinidad, what's my man's name? Chavez.
Mm-hmm.
So there have been legends, but 9 times out of 10, when the top Mexican legend takes on the top black legend, the black dude wins. Boxing and basketball is just something that niggas just, we got that wop that just, we edge you out. Duran lost to Hagler. He got knocked out so viciously by Hearns. Rumor is he's still waking up today. He lost he did the no mas with Leonard.
Yeah, no, I've been hanging out with Sugar Ray Leonard recently. We talked about that whole situation.
Lost to Floyd. Yeah. He lost to Bernard. He lost to Sugar Shane Mosley. Usually the black fighters edge out the Latinos when it come down to it.
So basically you're saying Crawford's going to win because he's black.
I'm saying he's going to win because he's got skills. But that black component, that's that extra juice.
That's that extra juice? I mean, look.
It's like the Batmobile when it's going fast and then he hits the nitro button and the flame shoots out of the back of the car and takes it to another level. Black dudes have the nitro switch.
Sean Porter delivers. perhaps the most powerful endorsement of Crawford's chances. Speaking with absolute certainty, he insists Crawford's preparation and execution are operating at a level rarely seen in boxing. Porter highlights Crawford's unmatched speed, flawless timing, and strategic game planning as the keys to dismantling Canelo's approach. He predicts Crawford will deliver a performance so dominant and complete that it will not only silence doubters, but also reshape how fans measure greatness in this era. For Porter, this fight could cement Crawford as the face of modern boxing.
The performance that you know you're going to have, right? They can't deny you anymore.
I don't know, but I don't give a fuck, too. So I feel I'm the best, and that's it. I don't focus on if the people say or put me in the first position, I'm the best. I feel I'm the best. I'm doing because I love boxing.
I call Canelo out because, like I said, he the last great fighter amongst the era that surpassed us. This is my mega fight. This is my moment.
You didn't have much interest in this Crawford fight. You were saying that there wasn't much in it for you, and you pointed out that people will say that he was too small. Well, what changed?
I think he's one of the best fighters for more fun. No, he accomplished a lot of things too. Mexican with the American fighter is always big.
When he fights you at Allegiant Stadium, I imagine it's going to be, 55,000 plus screaming Canelo fans, right? Many from Mexico.
The build-up to this fight frames it as one of the most defining moments of Terence Crawford's career. For many, Canelo Alvarez represents the pinnacle of opposition, making this battle the ultimate test. But the stakes are just as high for Canelo. A loss to a smaller man moving up in weight could create a blemish on his otherwise glittering resume. In boxing history, such defeats are often remembered as defining marks, especially when size is supposed to be the advantage. That's why, for Canelo, victory isn't just about pride, it's about protecting his legacy and solidifying his standing among the all-time greats.
Canelo's legacy. And he gave a resounding yeah. A resounding yeah. He said it would massively tarnish Canelo's legacy. And some of the things that he said were just basically things that most of us know, just some register and make sure that other people know and others don't, right? But it would tarnish his legacy, and for the obvious reasons. One is we know that the guy's older. Crawford's older. He's going to be 38 years old here, right? So he's an older fighter. He's an active fighter, right? And most of the time, these are things that, make people say that people are going to lose. Man, he's inactive. So he's pretty inactive, hasn't fought in a year, hasn't fought more than once a year in 3 to 4 years, maybe even 5 years. And also, he's coming up in weight.
Respected boxing voice. Showbiz, the adult offers a balanced take on the matchup. He praises Canelo's proven ability to wear opponents down with his toughness, strength, and calculated counterpunching. Canelo's durability and ring IQ make him a constant danger. However, Showbiz highlights another side of Crawford, often overlooked: his wrestling background. That foundation, he argues, gifted Crawford with superior balance, control, and spatial awareness inside the ring. When combined with his high boxing IQ, these qualities create a fighter with unique versatility, making Crawford a puzzle even a seasoned champion like Canelo might struggle to solve.
He uses his legs, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of it, but he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage, and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now, let me know how you feel in the comments below.
Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and like this video, and stay tuned for more like this.